Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to a hot day in Texas. It is early in the morning, and it is already hot. And I'm hiding over here in the shade of this hay baler. I was going to bale hay last night after I got the hydraulic hose fixed on the steering, but I thought, oh man, I haven't checked the hydraulic fluid, and I lost quite a bit. Checked it on a stick, and it was too low to be safely operating this thing. I knew by the time I drove into town and bought fluid and everything and come back, it'd be too late. So I just get an early start this morning. So the dew's burning off the grass right now. I have to let that evaporate before I roll this. You don't want the moisture inside your bale. One thing, it'll make it mold or mildew. Another thing is it can produce heat that can cause that bale to spontaneous combust and catch on fire. That's why you never want to roll hay that's not cured out, that's still green, is that it can develop a really high heat inside of it, and those bales can spontaneous combust. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. Speaking of that, a lot of times what they'll do is like they'll do these silage type bales where they will cut it and roll it green. I mean green. And that they're letting it go through a fermentation process. But they do a wrap, and that wrap, I guess it keeps it from having like an oxygen source or anything like that. Kind of like keeping it smothered out. So they can do that with a wrap, and but you're just general bales and it's out open to the air and can get an oxidizer. Yeah, they can spontaneous combust. And if you got a green bale mixed in with a whole bunch of dry hay in your hay trap, one bale can ignite and catch all your hay on fire. We one year had a guy that baled our hay, and he baled it a little green, and we could smell it fermenting. We could smell a slight burnt smell. We started taking the tractor and getting the hay out of the hay trap, spreading it out away from each other, and really watching it for several days. Funny thing is though, it never burned up, thank goodness. But we fed that hay that winter, and the cows absolutely loved it because it did go through that fermentation process, and they ate that up like candy. But it's dangerous. All right, well, there's your little lesson this morning. I'm gonna get hydraulic fluid in here, and I'm gonna hope and pray that I have a successful day, because I'm ready to get past this. I got other things to be doing besides messing with hay. I'm really ready to wrap the hay up. And I've got hay I've still got to get off the field and truck. I've got a hay trailer on borrow from my cousin, and we got to bring some over from another property. It's several miles away. So Mel and I, we got a lot to be doing. She helps me clear the hay off the fields, and she's just waiting on me to get all this rolled up and get it done and over with. Well, I've been running around. I got 5 bales in so far, and so everything seems to be going good. I don't see any leaks anywhere. All the hydraulics feel good. Gates latching tight. This thing, if you got a tractor with weak hydraulics and you're running one of these hay balers, it's got a latching system with 2 hydraulic cylinders on this rear gate, which is very important to hold the pressure of these rollers when it's rolling that bale. And if you've got a weak system, it won't slam that thing down and lock it tight, and you will have a nightmare. Well, everything seems to be going good. You know, I bought that tractor. Here's the bale here. You can see it's forming very nice. Super tight. Can't even get your fingers pressed in it. Strings, twine's wrapping on it good. You can adjust that baler to how many wraps you want on here, and you can spread them further apart. Different things you can do, the tension on them, and for no more than the cost of what the twine is, since this isn't a wrap style bale, I go ahead and I set this closer to have a nice set of twine on there. Less chances of it busting, and it really holds it down tight and clean like that. So I spend it's so small per bale to add a little bit more twine, and that's usually what I do right there. Well, everything's been going really good. I've got about maybe 15 rolls up right now in this field. I got up to where I stopped raking yesterday before I end up with hydraulic line breaking off. So I'm gonna jump over here on this small tractor, make a few rounds with the rake, and kind of switch back and forth between rake and hay baler. I don't want to rake up too much and a strong wind come along and whew, blow it all away. So you get those big tall windrows, you know. Melinda, she's texting me right now to take a break, but I'm gonna go just a little bit longer. I think she's probably got something fixed to eat or something up there. But I want to go just a little bit more before I head in and take a lunch break. Well, it's late in the evening. Sun's about to set. I almost finished the field back here baling it, and I can move the equipment across to another field tomorrow, and then that should be the end of my hay season unless maybe something comes along in the fall. Check this out. Yeah, the sun's just about to set for the evening. Beautiful though. Well, I better make a hustle. That a lot of the ryegrass end up getting dropped down, going to seed and decaying. So then I waited and let the Bermuda grass and some crabgrass had came on. Those cows, they like to eat that crabgrass. And so I got Bermuda grass and some crab mix, and it's made pretty good hay, but I'm probably about 30 bales less on this patch than it normally would have been. I always tell you I don't candy coat things. Tell the real fact how it is. I enjoy all this, but it's a lot of work, especially for one person. And you start hiring somebody to work with you to do it, you might as well just at that point hire a hay baler, because they're hourly rate these days to find help. And then if they hurt their back, they're gonna go to K Clinic and they're gonna sue you, even though if their back was already bad. They came to work with you knowing their back was bad, waiting for the opportunity, and then they go, oh, my back. K Clinic, we're gonna have, did you have workman's comp? Do you have insurance and all this? And ain't nobody got time for that. Or they want benefits, you know, or they want a real high rate. So by the time you do all that, you might as well just hire a hay baler at that point. So the only way I can make this work and be profitable, if I do it myself. Yeah, and I don't have to worry about anybody pulling any funny business on me. Now, if it was a family member, you know, like if I had a brother, like we used to bale hay together, you know. If it was me and my dad, we worked the farm together before. Then, yeah, you can do that. You know, a cousin helps you, something like that. But I don't have anybody left in the family that wants anything to do with farm life at all. I'm the last Mohican, the last one. And that's the way it is, you know. That's just the way it is. My daughters, you know, they have careers and they're far detached from any kind of farm life, and their husbands, that it's just, I understand that. So that's the way it is, you know. Everybody's got their own life, and farm life's not part of it. My dad, he used to hire some retired guys, and they work a little bit. Well, turned out one of them had a drinking problem and got on the tractor drunk, hooked the plow onto a tree and ripped the gangs right off of it, and didn't even know it. It continued to plow the field going circles. And then he let him go. found out from his wife he's a bad alcoholic. You know, my dad knew him for years, but didn't realize that he had this issue until he brought him to the farm doing work here. Then we had another one that Dad brought that was a retired man that my dad knew and all. Same story again. And darn if he was an alcoholic too. And he made some mistakes here at the farm, and he ripped some fences and stuff out, hooked the equipment in fences, ripped long stretches of brand new fence and stuff out. But he also ended up in a wreck on the highway, luckily not in one of our vehicles, and lives were lost. That's all I'll say. And my dad's like, I don't want to hire anybody again. So if it can't be family, is what we decided. If it can't be family, well then we're just not going to hire no one in, unless it's an independent contractor with their own hay equipment, all, and they're just coming in doing a job, something like that.